Hey guys, Sean here. Sorry for the delay in videos. Fortunately, caught a bit of a stomach bug, but I have for you guys a banger here, and it's my man s1mple, the GOAT in CS. I'm going to talk today about what makes him such a special player on the map DE train, right? You can see right here on your screen, these are the all-time stats on the map, and he is miles ahead of the closest player device. All-time he has a 1.32 rating. Closest device, like I said, 1.18. That's quite a big, difference all time, guys. So I think there's a lot to digest when I go through this video. So before I hop into it, I kind of wanted to show you guys his stats, on this map and why I chose to do this particular map, right? These are his stats on train. And you can see he has not had a negative rating on the map since 2018 in this loss against Mouse Sports, where they lost 16-4. Now, that's not to say that Na'Vi is the best train team in the world and they're constantly winning. No, you can see right here, these are Na'Vi's stats on train. So they've lost to Astralis, they've lost to Heroic, they've tied against Cloud9, they've tied against ENCE, they lost to MIBR, they lost to ENCE, they lost to ENCE. And then there's that Mouse Sports loss that we saw on the previous page. So you can see, and a lot of these games are close, right? You would think that someone on a team like this would have a couple negative ratings here and there. Obviously, that's not the case for s1mple. And what I hope to show you guys in this video is it's not just s1mple hitting a bunch of insane headshots. It's not the narrative that you will always hear, right, where it's just s1mple's aim carrying him through. I wanted to show you guys things that you could take to your own game. And I feel like this video is going to be a lot different than my prior individual videos, like the one on Automatic or Kenny S. s1mple is given way more freedom than those players, so it's hard to tangibly, describe what s1mple does in a short amount of words. But I will hop into game real quick before I actually do hop into the demos, and I'll show you that s1mple is the rotator on train, right? So that means in most scenarios he's going to be coming out of Z. He's actually going to throw a jump throw Molotov from Z that goes into T-Con a lot of the times. He has some preset planned picks that you're going to see. And he's basically supporting around outside and rotating inner. Something that I might not have in the video is just his map knowledge, how he uses every little angle to his advantage. So an example being when he rotates back to inner to pick into upper, he might hop on this ledge, or he might pick up here. He doesn't run directly into potentially a scoped op angle. And when he takes angles like on top of oil train, he doesn't jump to the train like most players do, because he's then susceptible to dying in midair. s1mple will crouch onto it while scoping. So there's all kinds of little things. When he works Ivy, for example, he might creep to the corner, clear out this angle, but then jump to clear top green train, right? He might do things like that that other players you don't see do as much, and you're going to see a lot of this in the video, and that's what I hope to teach you guys. So without further ado, I'm just going to hop right into it. But like I said, focus on positioning, focus on s1mple's knowledge of rotations, focus on his utility usage. Those are the three things that I really want to highlight, and his game sense. Actually, I guess game sense kind of goes in tandem with some of those, so didn't really want to throw that in there. Okay guys, for our first clip discussing how s1mple plays rotations and his game sense, I'm going to look at this opening pistol round actually against Godsent. And if you guys would like, Na'Vi does this pistol round quite a bit around this time frame. I know for a fact they did against Complexity at Blast Pro Series. So there's a lot of examples of how s1mple plays the rotations, specifically in this style. If you want, you can check out those demos. But you can see, based on minimap, as well as, if I were to switch to Flamey, Boomich, and Perfecto, these guys are going to rush down lower ramp with the bomb, take aggressive fights, get spotted with the bomb. Electronic is going to take into ladder room. s1mple is going to be by Ivy. If they get the kills towards inner, they basically commit inner, and s1mple late lurks Ivy. If s1mple calms certain things, they would go Ivy. So this is kind of showing how s1mple controls the flow of mid game on Na'Vi. It happens in a lot of different ways. But let's take a look at what happens here. So s1mple is going to hear this push. He's going to take an engagement with Zen in a second, who aggresses him. And you can see immediately right now, I'm going to show you Electronic is taking into ladder. And again, we have these guys on lower ramp with the bomb. So these guys on lower, two of them are going to die. very lucky that Flamey does not die with the bomb, and that the other two are the ones that die. But we're going to go back to Electronic here. Electronic is going to be the next contact on Sticko, who hasn't spotted s1mple. That's an important thing to note. So Electronic spots Sticko, and immediately you can see s1mple takes that angle and punishes Sticko for coming back, right? s1mple then rolls out Ivy, knows he has teammates pinching with him, takes out Madden, and the picture is so clear in s1mple's mind when you watch him. He clearly understands to a very high level the rotations and how people are moving on their map based on what they see, right? They see the bomb lower, so he knows, maximum 2 people are outside at that time. So he kills one of the 2 pushing Ivy. He knows there's likely another one staying around. The second he gets that kill, the second kill, he just runs full speed out Ivy, right? And he knows that the rotate could be coming back, which is 1 guy back bomb. They get that kill. The round is literally over at that point.
You see s1mple kind of protecting
very cool
things coming out
in mid, early round. Electronic dies Ivy, and you can see now s1mple takes over this Ivy role, right? He's basically just trying to make a presence at Ivy, and his team is constantly falling around the map. He spots Rush Hell, okay? So what that means is he knows the CTs are playing front side. He knows at least 1 player has to be inside, and he can't really assume where these 2 players are yet, but we'll see what ends up happening, okay? So s1mple's kind of fumbling through his nades a little bit here. Flamey ends up TKing Boomich at ladder. Blame goes down. So now, at this point, I think it's fair to assume that there's at least 2 players outside, because if there were 2 players inner, 1 will certainly rotate back outside based on the fact that 2 guys dropped in ladder, 1 was spotted Ivy out of 4 players, right? So s1mple's kind of piecing all this together. He smokes front side Ivy. Now, the reason why that's so unique is that he knows Rush can't have vision on the other side of the smoke, which means eventually someone is going to have to pick up backside, right? So s1mple runs back to mid in this 2-on-2, right? Rush, again, like I said, doesn't have any idea that someone can't be backside. s1mple faked that out with a front side smoke here. And Poison is very susceptible to dying to someone coming up old bomb, or even going towards the inner bomb site. So knowing that, s1mple is going to be in a heavily advantageous spot when this 2 versus 1 starts. So you can see the second Poison gets that frag. It's all painted in s1mple's mind right here, so easy frag for him onto Poison. And then he's going to plant back bomb. Rush kind of botches the kill a little bit, and s1mple ends up taking out Rush. But just s1mple's utility usage alone is what allowed him to win that 1-on-2. It created the illusion in the CT's minds that there could be a T out Ivy in the back lanes in that 1-on-2. And that's ultimately what caused him to, fly under the radar and end up getting super close on Poison. So I thought that was super cool, and it's always very valuable to know which side of Ivy the player's playing on, because typically at pro level CS, if you catch the Ivy guy on the right side and you smoke the right side, they have no vision on the left side. So typically they have to require a rotator to come in, and it push and pulls rotations in a very interesting way. That's for a different video, but that's something that's really cool about that s1mple clutch that I wanted to add in here. 2 rounds of Counter-Strike is some of the most phenomenal game sense and some other shit that normal humans like us, me and the viewer, can't probably do. So s1mple going into his normal spot, to hold the upper push. We've talked about this before. His team is just doing a standard default. Electronic gets that pick Ivy, so he's going to now roll back to middle and basically support his teammates with utility. Just standard stuff. Basically, if you watch s1mple demos, he does this over and over and over again, right? So he's going to end up smoking Z, and he's going to trail out mid. Okay, so what's going to happen here is one of his top 2 teammates is going to end up seeing Voxic opping, aggressively towards T mid, and his teammates are going to go out T-con in a second, and s1mple's going to hard peek sandwich. Now, the reason why he can do that is because of how his teammates are approaching that fight, combined with the flashes coming over the wall, and how he's trailing as the 3rd player. So you can see, again, he's going to trail his teammates. Goes and gets those 2 kills. He kind of just spams Frozen right away. And now we're in a 2-on-2, right? s1mple smokes the plant. He's now watching ladder for the flank for a quick second. He's going to move towards the bomb. And he actually has the bomb. You can see Electronic is kind of guarding him right now. Electronic dies to Rops in heaven. So s1mple ends up walling Rops. And now immediately in s1mple's mind, you can almost see when he's playing right here, he's thinking, okay, that last guy was inner. He's rotating somewhere right now. He could be rotating ladder. He could be rotating back lanes. He could be at Ivy already. s1mple's not really sure, but what he does know is that it's probably a bad decision for Rops to constantly keep engaging him, especially after he got walled. So s1mple is going to now switch his focus to Chris J. Right? This is a very hard thing to teach someone that's kind of new to Counter-Strike. Because s1mple isn't really too worried at this point about Rops peeking him, because he knows from playing so much pro Counter-Strike that Rops is now going to play a little bit more passive and wait for his teammate. And you can see Chris J just kind of has s1mple pinned in on the right side of the train. Now, s1mple is a different beast than most players. Watch how he peeks this angle. I mean, Jesus Christ, he got owned. So basically none of these guys stood a chance at killing him, because those were some incredibly fast kills. You see the immediate timeout coming out of Mouse Sports on this match point, and then the next round that ensues is equally as insane, right? So early round, Navi throws tons of utility outside. They're basically begging people to have no information unless they want to go on top of one of the trains. Okay, and you can see that from s1mple's POV here, right? Molly back hell, smoke sandwich, smoke E-box to his right as well. And so Chris J is going to go up to the top of the red train. Now, most people would have trouble dealing with what's about to happen to s1mple, but like you saw in the prior round, s1mple is another beast when it comes to how fast he is. He is incredibly fast, and they do this a lot. So I saw this a lot throughout all of the demos that Navi does, where you'll see s1mple flicking all over the place from the top of green chain to the red train, and his flicks are dead accurate every time. So you can see Crochet dies immediately when he goes to the top of the red train. And now s1mple's going to fall back a little bit, throw a flash to support his teammates. Electronic actually gets a kill with that. They all fall apart now. s1mple's in a 2-on-2. He knows Rops got that kill from ladder, but he likely knows, again, Rops will not reface. It's it's not common for someone like Rops to reface in that scenario after they get a kill. He knows Kerrigan is opping somewhere. He's already gotten 2 frags. So s1mple jumps across sandwich. He's basically doing what we saw previously, or what we might see later on in this video. He's looking for this player. So Kerrigan was spotted back old bomb. s1mple waits to see if he's going to rotate to Ivy. He doesn't. So now s1mple knows, it's safe to plant. Boomich goes down from the flank T-Con. So now everything is in s1mple's head, right? Exactly what's happening. So he knows Kerrigan could be back old bomb. He jump spots, doesn't see anything. Immediately he's thinking, I'm going to jump into the Z. There's one player T-Con. There's one player Ivy. I know exactly how this is going to go down. Now, I mean, you might be able to decipher all this. I think I could probably decipher all this live in a clutch. But could I hit the shots that s1mple's about to hit? Absolutely not. So he is just so incredibly fast. So the second Rops peeks him, just immediately dead. Second Kerrigan peeks him,
guys, so
immediately
most
walled.
important round
And just
of
like
the match
that.
against
Godsent, 14-13. And you can see Navi is going to do this same tactic where s1mple is basically going to be asked to hold the top of the trains. Perfecto, it's going to molly back hell. They're trying to get a guy to get information. Smoke sandwich, smoke E-box, molly back hell. You can see they're boosting s1mple up. Now, s1mple is just fortunately the fastest person in the world and can flick down to Zen right there. So you can see Perfecto getting the kill on Madden. s1mple pre-firing the E-box smoke, holding the E-box lane. And the round is going to slow down a lot here. So he spots Crystal rotating out of Z. And what does that mean? That means that the Z rotator or the inner player, likely the inner player, since there's 3 players alive, just left inner. So inner is now the weak spot. So he probably, either him or Boomich communicated to go back inner. Crystal gets that frag on Flamey. s1mple then punishes Crystal for being too aggressive. And this is where things get a little bit weird. So on radar, you can see Perfecto is actually in sandwich right now, dancing around with Sticko. And they know obviously one guy has to be inside, one guy has to be outside. And the reason why they would know that is because the inside guy just spotted the bomb in brown hole, which means that someone, aka Makalele, had to rotate inner to pick that up, right? Sticko is stuck out here doing that dance with Perfecto. So now that's going to cause them to go down ladder, and they're going to try to push towards Z, right? This is all reactive plays. None of this is like really probably pre-thought out. You can see the second they go out, Boomich spots Sticko in hell. Sticko takes a shot at him and then goes hides. So they still know Sticko's deep in hell. They know the second player is somewhere around inner, right? So you can see s1mple's kind of trailing with the bomb. They now know where both players are. So the second Boomich spots Makalele towards Z, s1mple's kind of like, that's a little bit of a risky fight. So he's kind of swiveling, making sure Sticko doesn't flank. Sure enough, Sticko does flank. And the second he gets that kill, the round is literally sealed, right? s1mple is going to kill the guy coming out Z. The round's over. Just shows how dynamic s1mple is. Thought it would be cool to show you guys, nothing is ever set in stone when you watch s1mple. He's always playing reactively, always doing the most optimal play in a situation. All right, guys, so this is where the video takes a turn, and we're now going to focus a lot more on, s1mple's positioning and how he moves around the map and utility usage for teammates, right? Before it was more focused on like game sense and rotations, so probably a lot less highlight worthy clips and more like knowledge. Like this is what I was referring to earlier, how he hops on the ledge, how he takes that angle towards the planner, how he falls onto oil train. There's a lot of little things that you'll see s1mple do, and I hope to capture some of those and share them with you, and maybe you can bring them to your own gameplay. So let's take a look. s1mple basically knows every angle he could possibly get seen from, possibly die from. So he jumps out mid with that flashbang, takes Olaf. You can tell he's not overextending in the place where his feet can be seen. He also has a pretty decent angle if someone pushes sandwich. Jiggle peeks hell. And notice how he jumps across sandwich right now. A lot of people would take this engagement to back bomb, which is not a favorable engagement. He has a player Ivy, he has two players T-Con supporting him, and one guy holding brown hall. So he's kind of on an island right now, if I'm being honest. And there is a Krieg in play. So just keep that in mind. So he jumps across the angle, spots a guy at heaven, sees this guy back six, easy kill, and third kill. And literally just like that, the round's done. But that wouldn't have happened had s1mple just like casually walked across sandwich and continued walking hell and tried to, keep the lurk going. And that's something that's very unique to s1mple, is he knows when and where to make noise. And there's no, book on this. Like I can't tell you when and where to do it, but I can tell you that s1mple makes the right call pretty much always. And this is another example of that. So another cool little thing regarding his positioning. So here's some more sexy movement around the sandwich coming out of s1mple. We're going to have him end up jumping out mid in a second. He waits till the smoke fades. So in the CT's eyes, hell is clear right now. And he actually gets out unnoticed. Now, Stavin ends up peeking up the angle. Unlucky for s1mple. And s1mple actually does end up getting tagged. But I really like the way that he approaches all of the angles after it, right? So he gets tagged. He's going to molly back bomb. And what that does is it stops someone from holding sandwich on him. He's then going to flash over the green train, which would then take the op off of him as he moves to sandwich. All right, keep in mind all this stuff. There's a lot going on here. So flashes over, that would get the op off. He takes the tight angle into the train to avoid mid bomb and heaven. He then is going to jump across to the ladder to spot both of those players. He's then going to jump back across, see the guy back bomb, and now he's taking his time. So Boomich took out the guy heaven, the molly goes mid bomb, and now he's going to end up killing this guy back bomb. There's just so many little things that he does in such a short amount of time that I don't even understand how his brain was so big to comprehend how to have all of those small movements. It's something that's definitely thought out a lot from s1mple. And this is what I mean by just map knowledge and positioning, right? even though these pro players play for hours and hours a day, it's very rare to see stuff like that. That is beyond a level of comprehension of pro play that I see out of other players, particularly star players, right? That's what makes s1mple the best player to play CSGO this round. I know he got 1 kill, but the way he approached those angles is just something that's so well thought out. I can't even get over it. It's incredible. Anyway, I don't want to get hung up on this clip all day, so let's just go straight to the next one. So here's a clip from IM Katowice 2020, very recently. You can see s1mple's still going to be throwing this molly coming out of Z. Slightly changed, probably just so people don't anti-shot his exact lineup, which is really cool. And then, he's actually going to throw a smoke onto mid. The second electronic dies. And this is really unique because as a rotator, he now has to kind of stay outside, right? There's 3 choke points at outside. 1, s1mple's holding Boomich at ladder, and then Flamey is now holding Ivy. So there's a lot to worry about in the outside bomb site. And this clip pretty much has everything that s1mple does really well in it. He's going to have great utility usage and just staying alive. So he's going to rattle off a shot, especially rotating around, trying to find a T that snuck out somewhere in like the downtime that he couldn't have had eyes on mid. Boomich is going to push aggressively towards mid, end up re-smoking this area, and then s1mple is going to throw a really cool flash that actually blinds both of these guys by mid. So we're going to actually watch it from s1mple's point of view, and you'll be able to see exactly what happens. So he throws that flash hell, and Boomich wraps around through his smoke to get that frag. The guy in T-Con's actually blind. Boomich kills that guy through the smoke. And now s1mple is just kind of roaming around. Hard peeks that Ivy corner. Boomich gets the kill ladder. And at this point, it's quite obvious at the top level that this last kill is going to be around Ivy, especially because he's the guy that got the frag on electronic earlier in the round. So you can see the way s1mple peeks this angle. He's just abusing his movement. He knows this guy's in this corner, and he's going to actually fall back and take a super safe angle like that and takes that knock. But it just goes to show you, that even someone like s1mple, who knows for a fact he is the best player in the world, he has 35 HP with an AWP. He's not going to re-challenge that angle. So if there's anything to take away, guys, it's even s1mple plays smart Counter-Strike. He's a team player. And that's the biggest takeaway. So this is how s1mple actually approaches that top 5 pick when he has a flash ready for him. So he has a top spawn. So again, he's going to take this aggressive deep molly. His teammate's going to flash T-Con for him. You can see all of the utility just blowing up right at T-Con. So flash blowing up right in front of it. So that way, if there was a guy pallets holding s1mple, he would get that easy frag. And then his teammates are going to actually double nade into T-Con, which then nets them a kill. So a lot of cool stuff going on there at the start of the round from Na'Vi, and you can see immediately when they get that kill, s1mple's going to rotate back to inner. So here's a clip where s1mple is going to actively get on top, 5 train, pink train, whatever you want to call it. So he's going to bunny hop out mid. He's actually going to throw a deep molly into mid, which sort of protects him a little bit going top 5. You can see Poison is actually going to try to peek into this with that flash. Fortunately, it doesn't blind s1mple, right? And I thought this was pretty cool because sometimes s1mple gets pop flashed to top red train. Sometimes he'll take the peak dry like that with his own molly. It really depends on how he's feeling in a given round and the timing of the situation and what the T's are throwing. It's very difficult to read how s1mple's going to approach that angle. I just want to show you quickly how he reads out the situation. He's going to deep smoke mid, which prevents anyone from wanting to come out mid. And then that gives him time now, in his eyes, to flash Ivy for electronic, because no one at the top tier level of CS is going to walk through that mid smoke in this timing, right? So pop flashes Ivy twice for electronic. Unfortunately, if you saw radar, it was a little bit too early, but he definitely had the right idea. Obviously, in most scenarios, I'm sure in most scenarios, s1mple actually nails that timing. So it's interesting to see, that his timing was off a little bit on those flashes. But right idea, gets rid of all of his utility, and now he's taking an aggressive angle on mid. And you can see he's actually end up going to catch Oboe there. And late round, it's over. But really cool adaptation to how he picks top 5, as well as here we have a 4 spy coming out of the Na'Vi side. They just lost pistol round. Things could get dicey at this point in the match. They drop s1mple and electronic Kriegs. And you can see the buy they're going up against is very sketch, actually, coming out of Godsend. So s1mple is just basically going to support Perfecto around close mid. And what's really cool about the way he handles this Molotovs right here in mid is where he throws his smoke. And he doesn't just throw it in a place to block all of the fights out. So you can tell he has the mentality of a star player, right? He wants to take these fights, he's confident in them, and he knows how to get advantages by using his utility. So the smoke goes down, he purposely throws the smoke to the right side of it to give himself a little bit of a gap. Perfecto gets that first kill, and you can see now he's one-waying over the smoke. There's practically no way that Zen gets this kill. And his lucky s1mple kind of falls off the angle to begin with, but s1mple re-peeks into him, gets the kill, comes back to support Perfecto again. You can see he spots Madden right there pushing mid. He's just constantly jiggle peeking, baiting off Perfecto. And now that he goes out, spots Smoklele mid bomb, easy frag. And he's now aware that the last player is the rotator. Crystal gets the frag in Z, and s1mple's just going to basically play the ladder wall. Super off angle right there. Easy frag. s1mple 4K. Saving Navi. Yeah, so this is like a combination of game sense / utility usage that I wanted to show you guys. So s1mple coming out Z. One of his teammates actually throws his exact Molotov that he normally uses, probably because he has the top spawn. He knows that a guy could be out mid. Now, I don't think one of his teammates saw this guy get out mid, but you can see s1mple is going to actually hard peek hell right away, get that easy frag on Crystal. And he's now looking for a guy top blue train, right? Which would be the next step if there was an outside rush. Boomage gets that frag at ladder, and you can see Electronic getting ready to run through the smoke and clear hell. But likely s1mple is communicating really well with him right now. And you can see he's getting ready. He's lining up a flash. And there it is. Electronic's going to run through clear hell. And now s1mple is going to take this mid angle with that flash from his teammates. So you can see there's a lot of communication going on when you watch Navi, particularly flashes for each other, frequently actually on the fly. But you can tell these things have likely been talked about ahead of time, right? So if there's an outside rush, I'll take my shot, I'll flash hell for you to push through the smoke, and that's how we're going to approach it. But you can see the thought process in s1mple's head is first take his shot, support his teammates second. And it's really cool to see. Since s1mple's so good at rotating inner, I thought it'd be a little bit rude to not also include a clip of him rotating inner. So this is his standard molly. He throws into T-Con when he comes out mid. It's obviously a jump throw molly. He then is kind of moving around just to see if there's someone behind it. Basically using Boomage's utility as to possibly bait someone into peeking him. He then rotates towards the inner. You can see he's hitting perfect timings right now in this rotate because, as you can see by Mouse Sports' location, they're right about to exec this inner hit. So let's go back to s1mple. And he's holding upper. He's basically waiting for the smoke to fade. He's going to re-smoke lower. And right away he gets that kill. And you can see Perfecto, obviously you can hear him firing a lot of gunshots. s1mple immediately pulls out a flash. He's going to flash for Perfecto here, which is actually a really good flash. Ends up getting that kill for him, and then unfortunately s1mple goes down. But this is the approach s1mple has every time he rotates inner, right? As an AWP player, he knows he's going to get one shot, he's going to reposition or flash for a teammate. And he is probably the best rotator I've ever seen. That's going to end the s1mple video on train. I hope you guys learned a lot of things from the video today, and I apologize if it was a little bit all over the place. s1mple does have a little bit more freedoms than some of the other players that I've broken down in the past. So because of that, you don't really see the same things over and over again like you would when you watch the other star players on other teams. Anyway, let me know what you guys want to see next in the future. Always looking for new content ideas. And yeah, stay tuned. Be sure to subscribe. Peace out.